The overlay. Oh dear. Are we back? Let me know if we're back.
Yep.
We're back. Alright, I apologise for what may have occurred there. Seems to be just a little internet problem, but we are back racing here under Inter Racing Leagues for Tier 1 in Belgium. Currently you can see SC Blicky 4/10 off Tyler FF in P2, and hopefully we can get everyone back in. I do apologise for that stream ending, but we are back and we seem to be all good now. Aiden Rizium's currently in P7, bringing himself closer towards the Mercedes of KLX in P6 as racing action still underway. No safety car, nothing still to disrupt the action taking place. 2 laps remaining as well, so we do highly doubt that anything will come to fruition near the end of this. Safety car probably not allowed to make its way out onto circuit. Never actually had it, but we did have VSC a little earlier on into the session. Haas in P7, Rizium's currently in P7. Bring himself closer towards the Mercedes of KLX in P6. We'll have a nice run through down onto the Camel Straight.
Yeah, Tyler hanging on to that position with just about 2 laps to go here. McJammy Dodge has controlled this race from pretty much start to finish, and it's a 6-second gap that he's just comfortably holding and managing at the moment with those younger tyres as well. It has been one of the better performances I've seen in Tier 1 in this league, especially in this season. It's been fantastic. But in terms of this battle from 2nd to 4th, it's anyone's game. Tyler leading the way, but he has cooked his tyres a little bit. It's 47% mediums for Tyler compared to 41 for Blicky and 39 for Checkered Flag. So Checkered Flag he hasn't really made any overtakes in the past few laps, and that is definitely a bit of management involved there. But in terms of the battery, it's Blicky leading. And it's going to be a real scrap towards the end here between those 3.
And just getting an idea of the penalties currently on the board, and have a look at that. Riz WRC with 13 seconds worth of penalties. Obviously to Websy in P5 earlier on, fell to push a little further than probably what he could on those tyres that he was on previously. And now in P5, where he most likely won't be finding any further time, is a little bit before regaining it on certain corners, so he has the advantage and other parts of the circuit here. And just giving you a better idea here, 10 seconds for Mr. Cool Cars as well. I believe that was for, speeding in the pit lane earlier on into the session, but looks like STE Blicky with a good slipstream and tow. Checkered Flag not too far behind. And as we start the penultimate lap of racing here, this is for the podium. This still has quite a lot of value towards it, and fantastic points on display for these drivers. Blicky down the inside of the Aston Martin, but will to will, 2 abreast through Lacombe chicane. Aston gets the throttle down, and now it's Blicky down to P3, with Checkered Flag continuing to try and hunt down back up into the top 3, and Yusuf not really having to race the teammate to Checkered Flag down in P15.
Yeah, penultimate lap. This is where a little bit of strategy will come into the drivers' minds. Where do they want to be in terms of position? That's definitely what Checkered Flag's thinking. Had the opportunity to make a move if they wanted to, but is just sitting behind there in P4, knows that the last lap's all that matters. That's going to be the last major overtaking spot besides into the bus stop chicane. So it's really all on the line here for the podium, and it's game on with Tyler leading the way in terms of P2, but McJammy 9-second lead, home and hosed, you'd suspect, barring any miracles to occur, as Blicky now probably in the prime position where he'd like to be in the late stage of this race. Websy has P5 secured on the road, but that penalty is still going to lose him a spot. And now we move our attention to P2. Tyler crossing the line for the final lap of this race. DRS behind for Blicky and Checkered Flag. This is going to get really interesting here as we head to the Camel Straight.
Well, down out of the exit of La Source at turn 1, lap 22 of 22. It is the final lap of racing. Blicky fighting for higher podium positions. Right now it is McJammy Dodge in P1 who will lead us away here for victory. But first, let's go on board with the Kick Sauber. Inside line, gets the opportunity, and up into P2 in a moment's notice. Nip and tuck through Lacombe chicane, and does a fantastic job defending off Tyler FF in P3. P3 and the Aston Martin seemingly, but this is a good opportunity for the V-Carb to potentially come back up into the podium positions. Aston Martin 2/10 off the kick. Sauber now down to a 10th and a half. If they keep fighting, V-Carb gets a better opportunity. It is now looking, hunting, searching for any opportunity, but it just seems like it's out of reach, and no one has been able to get close towards Dodge here. And right now the Aston Martin and Tyler looking through into Paul Ferrer, and it is still going to be will to will between these two, but currently making his way through into Blanchemont. We talk about how there's a few drivers who are out of reach of the podium. This man has been out of reach of any other driver in P1. The prancing horses will prance all the way to P1. It was Websy for 2 races. It was Finns for 1. New race winner here for season 7. And IRL say hello to the Belgium Grand Prix winner, Miami Dodge, on top with Tyler and Blicky practically going wheel to wheel. 67 milliseconds. That was separated by nothing. Aston Martin finishes in P2 and Blicky will finish off the podium in P3. What a fantastic race. Websy does finish in P5. He'll keep that championship lead, but it has not been helped by any means, and those points will not be as significant as we usually get to see. No podium today. First race where he's off it, and no stool for him to sit on.
Yeah, what a drive from McDavid Dodge there. A 10-second victory in the end. A fantastic result for the Ferrari team, and that is a crowning jewel of a race. He will remember that one for sure. Tyler with a bold move into the bus stop chicane. I was watching them with great interest there to the final corner, and it was a drag race to the finish line for P2, and Tyler somehow was just able to get his nose, that Aston Martin nose, was able to stick out a little bit further than Blicky's in the kick salve. Checkered flag unfortunately just didn't get that run timed correctly, but he'll be more than happy with a P4. That was a really good fight between that pack of 3, and Websy actually caught up to them at the end as well, but the penalty sort of nullified his effect. But what an awesome race. A great drive from the Ferrari there.
Yeah, no, incredible result, and like I mentioned, new race winner on display here in IRL Tier 1. It took a few attempts, 4 to be exact, but he comes here in Belgium and he's on top. Websy made the mistake. He lost out going into Las Fregnes chicane, and he never made it back up through the field. He went on a divergent strategy, which went with majority of what the midfield pack was going for, and he just couldn't maximize it, staying in P5. He probably maximized it for what those tires could do, but nothing further. It's only P5. Like I mentioned, he will stay in P1 for the time being, but still not really what he would have wanted. Either way, what has gone for another driver's wants is McJamie Dodge in P1, Ferrari on top, Aston Martin P2, Blicky in P3, and the list goes down from there. Checkered flag in P4 for V-Carb. This time round, it wasn't Yusuf who could carry the team, but checkered flag came in when it mattered most. Unfortunately, Shawnee had a good race through the middle part of it, down in P13 with Websy once again making it through. And let me get through the rest of the results here. Apollo Pepsi down in P20 retiring, and Cade McIntyre retiring due to damage and not feeling too confident in the remainder of the race.
Yeah, what an awesome race that was. There was a lot going on. There was 2 huge packs that were fighting it out desperately. I think it was really impressive racing for the most part. Just the one VSC, no safety cars, and there was a lot of good strategy there as well that we got to see.
Yeah, exactly. Currently loading back in, but you're probably wondering, ladies and gentlemen, 2 things. Are we getting interviews? Are we getting driver of the day? Firstly, yes, we're going to get interviews with P1, 2, and 3, or at least whoever may be available for a chat. That will be done through Discord and my phone to my microphone, because I have a little plug-in feature, so it makes it sound all beautiful and lovely. Number 2, driver of the day. Well, let's discuss that now. Right now, it's tight, it's close, it's not exactly the easiest choice to go for, but I think at the same time, it can be easy if we consider someone who did finish in P1.
It's so hard to go past McJamie Dodge for driver of the day today. I think just the dominance of his performance, even with the VSC going against him there, he decided to stay out. It was a bold decision. He had to think quick on his feet as well, and it really worked out. That soft stint at the start was magic. He was able to stay ahead of Websy and Websy made the mistake, which was largely forced by his pressure. So I think it's far and away McJammy Dodge for driver of the day.
Yeah, no, I think I can only agree with that. Really, it was probably the best choice that you could go with, and Ferrari deserves it. He picked up the win, first one of the season, and he did it by a dominant standing as well. Upwards of what was it again? Around 9 seconds near the end, 10 seconds. I mean, my God, what an absolute push. Of a driver has really deserved it today, so congratulations to the Ferrari who picks up both the win and also driver of the day, which I do believe is an extra point towards his name, and well and truly deserved on this occasion. How about we do a little switch over to this, and Lightstream should be working again, so if I do the transition it may want to switch over, but it is reloading, so maybe it doesn't want to work in my favour. Whatever the case may be, we're going to have a little go at getting some people into the interview room, so let me at these drivers, and then hopefully we can have a chat very, very shortly with our podium finishers. So that was our race winner of Dodge, which is Meowsy. And then P2 was Tyler, yes? Right?
Yep, and
Blicky, yeah. Okay, it didn't want to switch over. Let's try that again. There we go. That should transition over to what we want. Apologies. Right, there we go. So, okay, let's join the comms bit here. Okay, there's a process which I do for co-commentators. Just mute your mic on PlayStation and then join the comms box on Discord.
Yep, I will do that.
Right, we are getting a few more drivers coming in here, and eventually we will get all three. Currently waiting on Tyler, Blicky, with Meowsy currently in. Don't know where they may be, but how about with no further introduction, mate, what a race, and I don't think we could say it anymore. Well and truly deserved. First race winner of the season. Meowsy, you are a race winner here in IRL. You've done it in Belgium. Congratulations.
Thank you. I honestly thought I bottled that with the strategy. I forgot to box under the VSC, and I was just like, oh, I bottled this win. But I didn't know how, but I only came out 2 seconds behind the leading DRS train, so I just caught back up, waited my turn to get the lead, and I just tried to pull a gap away instantly, and it worked quite well. So from that point on, I was just managing my tires and warnings, and it was fairly good. I only picked up one warning throughout the race, which was quite nice, and I pulled a 10-second gap. I think the offset with tires was very advantageous for me somehow. But yeah, I should have boxed originally, but yeah, it was still quite nice. But I was going to have a good battle with Websy, but unfortunately bombed out on the curb in Sector 2. NT caused that VSC early on, but yeah, it was a quiet race from me from that point onwards, but yeah, it was quite nice.
Yeah, no, obviously, I think in the beginning, I think both me and Jen can speak on this, but we didn't believe that strategy you were going for was going to work out. Obviously, we only realized later that you were going to go on a newer set of tires and re-overtake through the field, but when we saw you didn't box under VSC conditions, we thought this may not work out for him, but it worked out perfectly for you. And I guess moving away from strategy and more just talking about your race itself, I guess what was kind of the intention after you got onto those new sets of tires? Just re-overtake through the field and try and pull away?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get bogged down in that DRS train, but it wasn't the case. But yeah, I think my intention was just to mainly keep the tires well, just push as hard as I could in the first few laps and re-overtake for the lead. But yeah.
Actually, I also like to inform you, because we decided just before interviews got underway, you are also our driver of the day today, so you've picked up the win and you're also DOTD on top of that fact. But let's move more towards the calendar, because, the season never stops ticking along here, and obviously it goes week by week. So as Season 7 continues to progress along, Belgium comes next round. It will be Japan, Suzuka, a very diverse, technically challenging and fast, varying circuit. So how are you feeling for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the track. I do remember last week saying in Hungary that I thought I was going to do terribly in Belgium, and I'm now won the race here. So hopefully I can replicate that as well in Japan. But we'll see. It's it burns the field quite a lot in Japan. Hopefully I can do a good race there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No, absolutely. Another thing, championship-wise, obviously you've picked up the race win here, and valuable points do go towards you when you do pick up those wins. Currently, you find yourself in P5, and probably not in the position you wanted to be, but I'll have to do some calculating afterwards, but you should be up at least 2 positions. You may be P3 due to this, maybe even higher than that, actually, considering that there's only 1 point difference. You may be... Yeah, most likely P3, because Finns is a little bit further away than that, but significant gains in the championship. So what's the mentality for the remainder of the season? How are you planning to try and attack, higher positions, and potentially also for the overall Drivers' Championship?
Yeah, it's a long season, so I think aiming for consistency is the overall aim. I will miss a couple of races later on in the season, so I think my main priority is getting points for the team and trying to get that overall constructors rather than the drivers. But of course I am still trying to push for that drivers, but I think aiming for consistency is probably the overall aim, because if my championship rivals, like they did today, have a bad race, I can really capitalize on points, and I could close in that gap towards the end of the season, because we don't know either. They could also be missing a lot of races, and it could come down to the wire.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also on top of that fact, Ferrari also going up to P3 due to the points you scored today, so not a bad result for yourself. But Jaden, any further questions you'd like to ask our race winner here in Belgium today?
I think you've covered the base pretty well, but congratulations. That was fantastic performance. What turned out to be a strategic masterstroke in the end, I think. Obviously, getting the pole position as well was a significant helper to you, but really well done and fantastic win.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we'll carry on with the voice of Jaden, and how about we have a little talk with our P2 finisher in the Aston Martin, Tyler FF?
I would absolutely love that. Welcome along, Tyler. And great race from yourself as well. You were caught up in a 3-car battle for pretty much the entirety of that race. You didn't really have a lot of time to breathe there, but your first podium of the season, that must feel pretty good.
Feels amazing. Really wasn't expecting one, but we take what we get. So, it's a great battle, amazing racecraft, demonstrated. It was great, really. It's just a drive.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff, and obviously you were part of that group that made your pit stop under the VSC, so obviously you had to take those medium tyres a long way as well, but towards those last couple of laps, you were leading coming into the final lap, that group of 3, or in P2. So what was the kind of strategy you were taking on there towards the final lap?
Well, really it was more the lap before. I purposely sort of tried to slow down to see if Blicky would go past me so I'd get DRS, but they knew what I was trying to do. Didn't work. So I had to just burn for the whole of Sector 1 and then, just keep it on hot lap until it just goes out. I get an opportunity against Blicky, which I did.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and a very tense moment there towards the end when you were both sort of drag racing to the finish line out of the final chicane. So that was very nicely done from yourself in the end, and hopefully that can really start to kickstart your championship charge as well. Obviously, as I said, first podium of the season. How are you feeling now? Is that a bit of a confidence boost for you for the next few weeks?
Oh, 100%. I haven't felt really confident in the Aston Martin team yet, but this definitely, helps me get more into grips of what I want to achieve in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, fantastic result. You'll take a P2 every day of the week. And I'll hand it back over to Jamie. You got any questions for Tyler?
Well, I mean, overall, considering your position, considering how you've done here, you've done a fantastic job, man, and incredible. I guess increase from where we normally see you on the grid. Obviously, you've done well. You've had consistency, but P2 on the board. Is this what we're probably expecting you to be more often?
I don't know about that, but definitely higher than my average. Definitely more like P5s, P6s, hopefully. But, I'll honestly take a podium any day of the week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Japan, Suzuka, how are we feeling?
Love the track, but I usually don't have much pace around there, but I'm going to work with the team to improve on that.
Yep, absolutely. Work on it, all you need, but also celebrate that P2, man. Absolutely well-deserved and an incredible finish for yourself.
Thank you, lads. Yeah, we'll celebrate.
Well, we move on to P number 3. We actually got an entire interview lockout. It's not actually something you normally get to see. So when we do, we always cherish it. So, Blake Stevenson, pleasure to be in the interview room with you. Congratulations on P3. How are you feeling after that one?
I feel pretty good. It was very fun. The race car was great. It's epic. I loved it. The battles we had was just great. The strategy I had was optimal. It was decent. It was good racing overall. Honestly, that's what I hope in a league mainly. Just good racing, clean, hard racing too. Especially that battle up to the line. That was crazy good. I loved it. It was really fun. P3, yeah, that's nice. But yes, Tyler did deserve it in the end. He drove very well.
I think, let's be honest, even if you do believe that he does deserve that P2 today, are you a little bit salty? 67 milliseconds was the gap at the very end. So close yet so far.
Yeah, 100%. I wish I did get it, but I had like 40% battery left, but I had like not the optimal thing, the battery gauge where you can only use a certain amount of laps, so that ran out, and yeah, I mean, fair play to him, I guess. What he did worked. I did make a few mistakes on the last lap, so fair play to him, I guess.
Yeah, no. Completely understanding of it. You've had a good race in your favour. Kick Sauber also will be loving this because that's points towards their current constructors fight. P4 is where they currently sit, and that's 63 points where you currently sit, but you should rather retain that P4 or move up to P3. It was Ferrari that did kind of sneak in a few more points as our race leader, so I believe you will keep your P4 there, but considering the constructors fight, we'll move over to the drivers very soon, but more on the constructors fight to start. I guess, how are you guys trying to tackle this? It's very close in terms of the margins. I mean, right now, obviously, considering last Grand Prix at Hungary, Racing Bulls, Sauber, Ferrari, 68, 63, 62, even Haas, 53 points. I mean, the deficit's practically nothing.
Yeah, I mean, haven't really been looking at the constructors because I haven't done the last two races because I've been pretty sick, and I haven't really looked to myself, so I don't know much there, but I'm just hoping we get at least a first or a P2 on the constructors because that's what everyone really wants, to get the best they can.
Yeah, and obviously in a championship like this, the focus is on yourself more than the team, and, fair play to it. Well, with that being said, Suzuka, Japan, next round where we go, obviously technically challenging a fantastic circuit that's been around for decades upon decades at this point. How are you feeling for a circuit like that?
I think I should have a good chance at maybe not winning because McDermott's rapid, but if it rains, I think I could win. I really like Suzuka, it suits me. But in the rain, I feel rapid, so yeah.
Interesting. Jaden, anything you want to add on to that?
Once again, I think you've pretty much covered all the bases quite well, but Blicky, that was a really good result for you. First podium of the season, hopefully first of many for the remainder. And congratulations to you, Matt.
Thank you.
Well, I think that is what covers it all. DOTD has been crowned. An absolutely eventful, fulfilling race has been shown. Qualifying as well, incredible. P1, 2 and 3 all getting their rightful interview and a good little talk after what has been some eventful action on display. Anything you kind of want to summarise or talk upon, Jaden?
I just think that was a really good spectacle, and I think this league, especially Tier 1, has got some fantastic drivers, some fantastic standards as well. I think it's really awesome to see. This is the first time I've had the pleasure of commentating Tier 1 in Inters, and I've not been disappointed whatsoever by the quality that's in this league. So if I can come back once sometime in the future, I'd absolutely love to, and it's been great calling alongside you today as well.
But we'd love to have you every single time in the commentary box, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there's not much else to discuss. We have crowned and done everything that we could possibly do for you, but in the next week, we are going to have, once again, Tier 1 competing all over again. Not at Spa, however. We're going to be going more towards, you could say, eastish and southish. It's around a bit of a weirder direction to head down to. But we're going to Suzuka, Japan. The whole point of what I'm trying to spiel out of my mouth. The point is, stick around, make sure you follow us, subscribe if you want to, really, no ads, and you can continue to hear our lovely voices chirp on for hours upon hours. And obviously, big thank you to you, Jaden. You've done fantastically. It's been a pleasure to be joining you in the commentary box. And next time around, maybe we'll have Scotty back. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully you enjoyed my overlays, everyone. I tried my best here. The internet problems that I had was unrelated to it, and I have figured out what the issue was, and it won't be a problem next time round. So hopefully that also put some relief on your faces if that was something that may have been stressing you out, which I do doubt anyway. Cheers, everyone. It has been a pleasure, and goodbye.